In this quick demo, I want to show how the shared game timer score sheet might be useful for someone playing games online. So I've skipped the whole thing about actually using it as a game timer. You can just use it as a score sheet. So this is what it looks like. And I imagine that the left and the right hand side are two different computers on two different parts of the world. So the score sheet, when I edit something, for example, I put in 20 points for Jane Doe, automatically shows up everywhere. So Sandra can put in her score, maybe she got 26, and John Doe can put in his score, and everyone can fill in their scores simultaneously, and you can see what everyone's doing. So that's the distributed nature of the app and why it's suitable for online gaming. But it has a few other features. One thing you can go do is edit the score sheets. So now it allows you to add more lines. So you could, for example, put in maybe one thing that we're scoring, maybe is hops. Maybe we're playing a game that includes hops, and maybe it includes beer. Maybe it's a refined hops, so you refine it into beer. So you keep adding lines, and then people can fill in those lines. So you exit the edit score sheet, and you edit this other line. So that's how easy it is to add new lines. If you want to make it look nice, instead of adding just the word beer, you can add little emojis like this, which looks nicer. We can delete this line here and have this nice little emoji here of a beer instead. Hops, however, there is no emoji for hops. So what to do? Well, another thing that we can do is we can go into the edit line here, and where it says pick icon, you can then upload your own icon. So maybe you have an icon that actually comes from the game, then you can upload that. Or if you want to be kind of quick about it, you can search a website, a database of icons called Flaticon. So if we search for hops, and we're going to say the style here is, we're going to leave that to any right now. Then it searches Flaticon, and then brings up a whole range of things that we can pick from. And you notice that some of them are colored and some of them are black and white. And we're looking at the black and whites here in a little bit. But here suddenly we have lots of options for something that looks like hops. So maybe we'll pick this one. And then we click save. And now we have that icon there. And you'll see it immediately updates and show up over here as well. I said that there was a difference between the black and white and the colored ones. So if I edit this beer one here, maybe we want to use an icon from the database as well. So maybe we'll search for beer. And in style, we're going to look for monochrome. To filter it, we only see the black and white ones. These colors here are basically the examples of what it will look like against certain backgrounds. So you notice here that against a dark background, the monochrome ones will show up as white. But if we pick a light background like this yellow here, then the monochrome ones turn dark. Now, because of during the score sheet, you'll always have, maybe we'll pick this one. For the score sheet, it doesn't really matter because the background of the score sheet will always be dark. So you'll always have a white icon. But you can, if you want to use the game timer to maintain a record of how many tokens you have. So maybe you have an icon for money, and I'm not going to cover this in this video, but you can use these icons for tradable tokens, which is basically a way to keep track of how many things each player has when you're playing games online. That's when this will come into effect. But I'm going to leave it for now because that's a different video and a different topic. So let's go back and edit this one. Let's remove the icons, go back to this one. You can say that you want a formula. Instead of just people putting in numbers and that's the value of the thing, you can put in a formula. So maybe we say that beer is worth 2 victory points per beer. So you would put in 2x, x being the number that the person would put into the form. So we say save there. And now when you click in and you fill in the beer value, it's going to have a little pop-up here saying that this is 2x is the formula. So if I put in 10 here, we have 10 times 2, 20, plus these 26 from up here, 46. And the formulas can be quite advanced, so you can do anything that you want here. So maybe x, it's coins and it's worth 1 victory points for every 10 coins. You would then say x divided by 10, and then you can say if you are rounding up or rounding down. So say we're rounding down, and you can say that the minimum you can have is 0, so you can't have negative values, and you can't get more than 10 victory points for this. So you can be kind of smart about it. Number input is when you're inputting numbers, and then for results is when it shows you the outcome of all of the calculations. So when you want to see how much you scored for beer, you would put in results and you will see that you score 1. And if you want to change it, this 10 here is 10 divided by 10 is 1. That's why he's getting 1. But if I put in 8 here, and I go to results, 8 divided by 10, that should be, oh, it's just rounded, it's not rounded down to nearest integer. I need to round it down like that. Now, when I go to results, it says 0. All right. What else can you do? You can go into the formula and say that this is something that you fill in with a checkbox. So it's either you've achieved it or you haven't achieved it. And you can say what the value is if you check it, and what the value is if you don't check it. Now it looks like this, with a checkbox that you can check or uncheck. So that's it for the formulas. There's nothing else I want to say about that. This here, higher score wins, you can change that to say that the lower score wins if it's one of those games where you want to have as few points as possible. And all it does on this page is that it changes who gets these medals here. But if you go ahead and click log play, then maybe we're playing, what's the game that involves beer? Is there something on Board Game Geek called beer and pretzels? Maybe we're playing beer and pretzels. When you submit this to Board Game Geek, this checkbox here to say who wins, basically if you changed it to lower score wins, then the one with the lower score automatically gets this checkbox. But you can change it before you log the play. And that is the feature for creating editable score sheets that you might want to use when you're playing games online, because you can fill them in all at once, and it does some clever calculations and so on. If you have created a score sheet and you want to reuse it over and over again, you can either create a game and then go into it and click this play again, which is basically going to copy this score sheet over to a new game, or you can save it as a template. And templates are things that when you go in, for example, this template here for Kanban EV comes with a predefined score sheet where I put in proper graphics from the game and some formulas to help you calculate the values of the different cars and so on. And so you can quickly create a score sheet that you've defined before. So it makes it a little bit quicker and easier than having to fill all of this in over and over again. And that is the demo. If you have any feedback, I would love to hear from you. And with that, happy gaming.